Wood Ash Furnishings is a proud sponsor of the Buddy Pough Show.
And welcome to the season opening edition of the Buddy Pough Show. I'm Ernest Robbins, along with head coach Buddy Pough. And of course, Coach Pough opening the season against Georgia State down in Atlanta, Georgia. A 33-6 win for South Carolina State. Your thoughts first on this opening game?
Well, I'm happy just to get by that game because I was really worried. Georgia State had been a big presence in everybody's mind for a long time, and we thought they would be a lot better team than they showed to be at the game. But now, going into the game, we were worried.
Now, Coach, you talk about that. We go to the first half highlights. Georgia State won the toss. They elected to defer. We take the possession first, and we see one of the new rules in football. You open up with it on the 25-yard line.
We did. We got the ball in 25, and we actually made a pretty good gain on first down, and we come back and lose a yard or two, and then we get a deep ball to Linnell Elmo down the sideline. Our quarterbacks have been working real hard on throwing deep balls on the street routes. We've been trying to get the ball down to the Elmos of the world, and we were fortunate enough to get it to him right there at the beginning.
54 seconds into the game, 72 yards. Bulldogs on top, 7-0 after Nick Belcher field goal. And then that defense, Coach, can't talk enough about them. Really put pressure on Georgia State.
That's almost a perfect play there where Joe Thomas makes a play. As soon as he catches the ball, you don't get in the run after the catch, and then we come back and we actually convert a first down here. Caleb Davis has gotten to be a real nice presence there with Richard Q. And then we come back here. One of the big parts of our preseason preparation has been third down conversions, third and short. And you saw us convert a third down there with a short run there. And we come back here and we drop a ball there. Caleb has got it right in his hand. He kind of jumps a little bit. I don't know if he has to. You know, we end up not making the conversion there, and then they get the ball here, and then they get one of their long runs here. Donald Russell, their good running back, breaks about a 55-yarder here on us.
Donald Russell with the carry. Russell had a good night for Georgia State running the football. 110 yards carrying it on only 12 carries, 120 yards on 12 carries. Needless to say, though, the Bulldog defense, Coach, really stepping up. Big hit here after the play, creating a third down situation.
That was actually a fourth down conversion play, and we stopped them there on fourth down. And you know, our guys got after their kid, Danny Williams, and then we get the football back here, and Richard tries to throw in the play action and runs around the edge here and makes a nice gain down the left sideline.
Coach, you gave him a lot of different looks, some 2 tight ends, some 3 tight ends. A lot of times with the H-backs, just so versatile to what you're able to do with this team this year.
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to give a lot of different looks personnel-wise, and what we did here was we thought we would have the little zip route up the middle, and they changed coverages on right at the very beginning. They went from a 2-high look to a 1-high look, and Richard threw right down the middle, didn't recognize it. And you see it, Javon Hargrave pushes the quarterback toward Alex Glover here. Javon is a freshman defensive tackle from up around Salisbury, North Carolina. He really has made a lot of big plays early in his career.
Andrew Carter, Alex Glover in there as well on that sack for South Carolina State. 1 of 6 on the night for the Bulldogs. Then in the second quarter, Bulldogs still leading 7-0. Coach, got to a point here where you start to wonder, are we going to continue to get these opportunities?
Right. You're worried in the fact that you don't necessarily convert and score again. And, you know, we try to run a little slip route out of the side. This is Dondre Brown from down at Wade Hampton High School. He's a freshman fullback, and you see him making a play here at the beginning of his career.
Bulldogs turn it back over on downs. Georgia State now, first time they tried to run a hurry-up offense. Freshman quarterback, and you could tell he was a freshman at times. Too much pressure. Once again, Alex Glover in there for South Carolina State.
Javon Hargraves, actually, yeah, he makes another play here from the defensive tackle position. It's not very often you can find a defensive tackle that makes sacks for you. And you go with old Joe Thomas there. You can always depend on him to be around the football.
Forcing a punting situation, and Matt Hubbard had a night of nights for punters. This punt turns out to be an 80-yard punt. Not a great decision. You weren't happy with Darius Drummond's decision on this one.
Yeah, and we kind of worked with Darius on not catching the ball. If he doesn't catch it right at the beginning, and you know he lets it go down, and it ends up being an 80-yard ball. And you know we get the ball out somewhat here to Scoot Simmons. He runs for about a 6 or 7-yard gain, but then we don't make the first down, and we end up punting it. And Nick does a nice job here getting it out of there. And I think Mason Harris and Chris Merrill make the play here. So we ended up netting about maybe 39 yards out of that situation. So that's really a good job, except for the fact now that we get a great call from from Mike Adams. He blitzes Courtney Ingram off the edge and just blitzes right into the naked protection there for them, and they end up getting a sack, and then they do go for a field goal here, and these are their first points of the game.
Nick Haas knocks down a 25-yard field goal. It's still a ball game, 7-3 South Carolina State as we're into the second quarter, 6 minutes, 33 seconds to go. And at this point, it was anyone's ball game, so it went back and forth. The Bulldogs here with another opportunity heading toward the end of the first half.
Right, then we kind of get into a turnover. This is the second drive in a row that ends in a turnover for us. And actually, Richard makes a great decision on who to throw to, but it goes a little wild high, and the Brent McClendon kid makes a play here. We ended up getting them stopped here. I think Justin Hughes and Kamario McFadden get in on him and make the stop here, and they end up going for another field goal. And of course, they missed the field goal.
They missed the field goal here late in the first half. That would have made it a 7-6 football game. And when you look at the two scoring opportunities that Georgia State didn't take advantage, those were potential touchdowns that just did not happen as a result of our defense.
Our defense did a fantastic job of stopping their momentum and not letting them get in the end zone. We come back here, you see Julius Pendergrass running the football. Julius was a wide receiver 2 weeks ago and a defensive back a week ago. Now we got him at running back, and he's done a nice job for us at running back.
Nick Belcher punts the football, fair catch, and now Georgia State, as time is starting to wind down here in the first half, sort of makes a decision, trailing 7-3, Coach. They want to take another shot and try to get down the field, and it was a costly decision.
It was. They called timeouts to stop the clock here right there in the half, and Justin Hughes comes up with a fumble, and we end up getting the ball close to their goal line. Eventually, we get it in for another score.
There are 26 seconds left to go in the first half. I think we're down to 14 at this point, and Richard Q looks right, throws back to the left. It doesn't get any better than that.
It was really nice to Tyler McDonald. He puts it in the perfect spot right at Tyler's back pad, and we get a score there to go up 14-3.
And that was where the first half ended on Thursday night. Bulldogs leading Georgia State 14-3. We'll be back with more right after these messages.